Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy. Welcome back to more EarthBound. Last time, we entered the cave of the Lilliput Steps and took on Mondomole, the guardian of our second sanctuary location. Without any unsatisfying, anticlimactic cheap tactics, we both emerged victorious and both became very strong in the process. This time, we move onward. Not really so much onward as much as backwards because we need to take Paula back to Tucson and learn that my having to walk on the path knows no bounds, not even sanctuary locations. The Lilliput Steps are not establishing a theme that every single sanctuary location is going to have to do with feet, but instead it's a reference to Gulliver's Travels. It's the main focus of where he wanted to go in part 1. To him, I say, dude, why didn't you just try walking there? On our way back, I want to talk to you about a little something. There's a pattern about sanctuary locations that's developing. It is about the eternal dilemma that I always have when I play EarthBound, and I still don't have a good answer for it. We have our exit mouse. We could escape rope out of this place, getting back to town in an instant. But I don't like doing it because these enemies are so strong, or not really so strong though, but these enemies are easy pickings. Getting a back attack on a mighty bear, we can easily just do freeze alpha one time, bash one time, get 300 experience a pop. I don't want to get too happy with doing this, but you might as well take the free experience if it's handing itself to you on a silver platter. It's always a thing where, even though I get my exit mice and I pick them up thinking, oh, that'll be useful, that'll be fun, I never want to use them because this is just such a golden opportunity that you can't always use. Heck, magic butterflies respawn in this middle area pretty often, so you're likely to get back the PP that you spent. It's a good grinding spot, and if Paula's still pretty weak, maybe you didn't get the experience off Mondomole, maybe you do want to do this. And I guess while we're just going through, I could tell you a little bit more about exit mice and what exit mice almost were in development. It was discovered not that long ago that originally exit mice were going to be called teleport boxes. The idea would be that you would use them, they would eventually break instead of being a one-use item, and when they would break, they could potentially malfunction, warping you not back to the last point you healed, but instead warping you back to a random area that you've already been to. It's certainly interesting. I see where they're coming from in changing them to just being a simple escape rope. I do think that's a good design decision. But it's kind of an interesting concept of having a fast travel system that'll sometimes betray you. Take that heal. And if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna reorganize my inventory real quick. Specifically to grab the pencil eraser. If you were to say, take the pencil eraser and use it on George Jefferson's big shiny head, let's use the pencil eraser, but nothing happened. If you were to say, okay, maybe that wasn't such a good idea after all, and instead take the pencil eraser and think it'd be a great idea to shove it right up the cows, you can't use the pencil eraser. Curse is foiled again. You get a unique message there. I don't know how many NPCs give you this message, but this cow is one of them. I want you to remember this cow for a little bit later because this is kind of going to be the beginning of a, shall we say, pattern. Put it away again because we're not going to have a need for it. And things really are finally happy in Happy Village. Finally, I have a chance to apologize. Appreciate the sentiment, girl. I think you've gotten me stuck inside of a wall before and I wasn't able to move without resetting my game, all because I wouldn't donate to your stupid cause, because you wouldn't believe me when I said I didn't have any money, so yeah, appreciate it. Thank you for the apology. We're gonna head back to Tucson now. And along the way, I have something that I want to do. This is really stupid, and this just goes to show how zany I am for being able to see everything that we can see that I think is worthwhile. I want to get Paula killed and bring her parents back the ghost of their dead daughter. What a wonderful hero I am. Blue. Oops, I won't say it again. I fixed the bridge as a sign of apology. I'm just trying to help. You can conveniently cross the bridge at the start of Peaceful Rest Valley to quickly get to and from Happy Village now. Up on getting back to Tucson. I heard that Paula beat up the kidnapper. She's my favorite. This kid is one of my favorite localization changes to tell people about. In the Japanese version, he didn't say that. He said, Paula, I heard you kick the kidnapper in the balls. Way to go. Oh, that kid is so good, and I wish he said that in our version. It's honestly the first localization change that I've been sad about. Pretty good track record for a 90s game, I'll have to say. Oh, Paula. Sorry, I thought you were Paula. This shows that NPCs will have different things to say to you depending on who is in your party, and it's sometimes worth your time to go around talking to people when you should have somebody but don't. Is that you, Paula? Oh, I thought she'd be back, but not yet. Oh no, I'm not worried. I'll be okay. Oh, Paula! Am I dreaming? I feel like she just came home. He leaves to go look for her again. Ouch, it's been a while since I've done this one. I didn't remember exactly what they said, but how to make yourself feel like a scumbag in 10 easy steps. Ouch. Whenever somebody is dead, the game makes sure that you are aware of it by changing your window style from mint or peanut to bloody flavor. Tastes like pennies. If anyone's ever dead in your party and you need to bring them back, you want to go to the unassuming local guy to deal with them. Unassuming local guys are the only enemies that we did not fight in all of Tucson, and this is what that one guy watching the food stand in the Happy Happy Village would have been if we chose to fight him. They are extremely basic enemies. They can attack you, which is very weak, and they can attack you, which is very weak, and they can attack you, which is very weak, and they can attack you, which is very weak, and they can attack you, which is very weak, and they can become friendly and affectionate, which makes us back off, and our body solidifies. I guess him treating us very nice is so soothing that it gives us goosebumps or something. I like coming up with explanations for why attacks do what they do. It's fun. They're not amazing enemies, but you get a level up off of them, I guess. And we got Roland Beta. Oh, yeah. Roland Beta still has the same accuracy as Roland Alpha. It just does more damage. A lot of upper levels of PSI are like that, where it's the same thing, only better, but some of them have different effects, and of course we'll be seeing those as they come up. Unfortunately, hence the name, Eagle Land is a fictionalized America. No universal healthcare. You gotta pay money if you want to get your party member back. And like the bad design of American hospitals, they don't have the common courtesy to at least stick ATMs in their hospitals if they're gonna charge you for everything. Since we're here, I want you to hear the hospital theme because it's great and no one ever talks about it. It's such a happy theme, it almost makes you forget about the pains of not enjoying universal healthcare like those living up in Moose Land. Almost. This is one of the songs I didn't appreciate until, I think, more than 10 years after I played this. I was listening to music on headphones in a hospital, and this came on, and I thought, that's funny. So I started walking around the hospital, and I realized how fitting it was, and it gave me a new appreciation for it. It's always great having new things to like about one of your favorite games. We're gonna talk to Mr. T over here. Kidnapping is wrong. I'll be careful not to kidnap anyone. That's a fan favorite line to be sure, and you can see what I mean even more so than before about the bicycle not being in a good place. The fact that you get it just before getting a teddy bear, just before going through Peaceful Rest Valley where you can't ride it anyway, just before getting a second party member permanently, it kind of stinks. He's smiling. Given what he was saying before, that's actually a little more fitting, so never mind. I think I came out ahead. When I grow up, I want to be just like Paula. Thank you for saving Paula. You are my hero. Paula is like a mother to me. You may not be able to oh, you're saying the exact same thing. I was hoping you all were appreciative, but I guess your kid's too small to understand the world around you. And things like kidnapping. May you never have to know that in your childhood during those years. Yahoo! I knew it! You saved Paula! I don't really understand it, but I know Paula's miraculous power and your great courage will allow you to stand up to any challenge. Paula, if you must take the trip, be sure to bring this along. It's my very own handmade Band-Aid. Ooh, that rhymes. I know, I'll call it a Hand-Aid. Ness got the Hand-Aid. Did you meet Dad? He is sorry that he suspected Mr. Everdread of Berglund Park. The Hand-Aid, I'm gonna be honest, I have no clue what this does. Heals your wounded body. Gone after one use. Sounds like that's a one full heal if I had to guess. I don't know what this does because I never want to use it. There's only one of them and Paula's mom lovingly makes it as a reward for when you bring her back, and it feels wrong to use it unless I have to, so it's been years since I've ever tried using it. Oh, Paula. Ness, thank you so much. You must be the boy who will save the world, just like in Paula's dream. Paula, I'm sure you'd be a big help to Ness. It's not every day a father lets his daughter embark on a journey to save the world. Dad, don't worry about me. Ness and I will be able to take care of ourselves. In Threed, in the next town, we'll meet another friend. If the three of us can combine our power, no one can beat us. Now wipe your eyes, blow your nose, and smile before we take off. Goodbye, Paula. Don't worry. I won't cry anymore. He follows us around until we talk to him. He just needed a little tap on the shoulder to know what he was doing. One of my favorite little details is that after you save Paula, it no longer plays that kind of eerie music. It plays the same song as Ness's house. And just like Ness's house, I don't really understand it, but I know Paula's miraculous power and your great courage will allow you to stand up to any challenge. Are you not going to allow us? I thought you fully healed us. Well, regardless of what she does, I was going to segue into the fact that if you leave Dad's room and come back... Goodbye, Paula. Don't worry, I won't cry anymore. Oh, maybe we have to leave the house proper. Once you head outside, hello, Ness. Everdred is looking for you. He's got something for you. Never mind, I wasn't able to get the thing to trigger. We'll have another visit with the parents another time. Gotta win them over after all. Paula has some, shall we say, contradicting canon information about her and her family. According to American guides, Paula's last name is Jones. Paula Jones is her name. And her father's name is Paul Jones. On top of that, Paula is stated to be 11 years old in Japan, but at least 13 in North America. Ness was designed to be ageless. I guess this isn't really so much about Paula anymore. I guess I'm just taking things over, making them about myself. Ness it was stated to be ageless when they conceived him, but he's canonically 12 in Japan according to some writings, and he was aged up to 13 in North America. Gotta attract that edgy teenage crowd by having an old enough pro tag after all. I was gonna ask you to be my partner, but I know you'll refuse. It's written all over your face. If you accepted, I was gonna give you some money. Actually, I can't keep the money now anyway. Let me give this to you. It's $10,000! Use the money any way you like. You cannot refuse my generosity. Just accept it! Now I plan on looking for the evil many-many statue that liar exaggerate on Earth and Onette. I'll see you at another time, in another space. Don't get so wetty panty over the amount of money that he just gave you. The wad of bills is an item that is stored in your inventory. Also, perhaps maybe that was not the best word choice to describe the feeling that you would get upon getting $10,000, but that's just me. I like talking like Everdred in that way because on the subject of loose canonical information, the EarthBound Player's Guide gives him the first name of Al Everdred. I like to think that if there was an EarthBound movie or a TV series, the natural first choice of who you would cast to play Everdred would be Weird Al, and that first name just further confirms it for me, so I like making him sound like Weird Al when he's shouting. Now we can do the thing that I wanted to show. Well, here you are, Ness. I'll make you some beef, even though I'm not a very good cook. My mom called you up and told you to say that to me, didn't she? You can heal up with Mom, but who wants to do that? We're healing up with Dad. You're both fine, I'm so relieved. Why don't you get some rest here? Ness, you'll sleep on the couch in the den. Paula's dad's great. He really is. My mom and Paula's dad, two of them should get together. Unfortunate implications aside, this is the first of many things around Tucson and even Onette that we can now do with two party members. I want to show you the things that Paula changes across both of the towns, and we're going to be putting the brakes on progress for a little bit to do that. The reason why I'm doing this now is that if we progress much further, we're not going to be able to freely go everywhere that we want pretty soon. The first thing I want to do is, it's time for Paula's revenge. We're going to go out and get Ness killed. And while I was trying to show you that, Paula grew to level 14. It is highly unlikely that Ness will ever be dead in a battle without having Paula dead as well. Generally speaking, with Ness being the tank and the healer, if he dies, the rest of the party is probably dead too. I go multiple entire playthroughs without ever seeing Ness dead on his own. As a result of that, I think it'd be kind of fun to show you some things that change when Ness is dead, as we can already access most of them, and if it ever happens to us, I'm unlikely to want to drop everything that we're doing to go show you this, so I thought this would be the optimal moment. As further proof of what I'm saying, the fact that I had to go so far out of my way to get Ness this dinged up that Paula actually leveled up before he died, that should say something. 3, 2, 1. Paula's the leader now. Said she was strong and independent. First, in the Onet drugstore. If Ness is alive, this guy says this. Hey, I know your hard-earned cash is important to you, but you should call your mom. She's probably got an ulcer from worrying about you. If Ness is dead, the younger manager of the shop has a strange way of talking. Anyway, be sure to pick up some items that will be helpful in the future, not just stuff you need right now. This is such an obscure line, and it's strange that he will only say this line if Paula is in the lead, or at least if just Ness is dead. I don't understand this one at all, but there it is. Second, if you think you can bring Ness back easily by going and talking to Frank. What? You're a friend of Ness's? Ness is my friend. However, I can't remember becoming a friend of Ness's. Quit joking around about a circle of friends and go home. He will only heal Ness. Or at least heal you if Ness is there. Calling Dad. Hello? Is that you, Ness? Why are you disguising your voice like that? Hello, Dad, it's me, Ness! Who are you pretending to be? Oh, well, it's not a big deal. I suppose you don't need to have a sense of humor. I suppose you need to have a sense of humor at a time like this. He will tell you the same things that he always tells you, but that's a little bit amusing. How about Mom? Oh, is that darling little Paula? Is my sweet child Ness doing okay? Please come visit us sometime. You're the boss. Ooh, Ness has gotta be shaking and shivering in spirit. I'm gonna go talk to his mama, and he's not there to rush in and stop the nude baby pictures. Any friend of Ness's is welcome in our home. I think it's great the way you kids have been working together. She doesn't heal you either. If you're thinking, hey, I ditched the boy, that means I can see Paula on a bicycle now because I'm all by myself. You know that two people can't ride a bike. But you know that you can't ride a bike when you are carrying an unconscious friend's stuff? Carrying a lot of items and riding around is impossible for you. Foiled again. And all the lines that I wanted to show if Ness is dead come full circle by talking to the man who was not his biggest fan. Oh, Paula! So even a tomboy like you, thinks of her father occasionally. You should rest, seeing how this is your own home. How about we share a piece of pie like we used to? Ha ha ha! He's just happy to have some quality time alone with his daughter again. My nose looks really funny against that line that divides the sidewalk and the road. I like it. Makes her look kind of like an elf with her nose just poking out and back in a lot of the time. Well, that's not really an elf so much as it is Pinocchio. Now that we've seen everything that I wanted to show with Ness dead, there's only one thing left to do before we bring him back. Order a pizza with his debit card. Hey, if somebody tried to kill me for sake of comedy and now they were dead, it's what I would do to get revenge. By calling Mock Pizza, you can order 3 types of pizzas. These are very remote items that you're not likely to find much of anywhere else, though there are rare exceptions like the sharks being able to drop them on very, very rare occasions. The small pizza is only $48 and recovers 120 HP. It is, I would say, the most cost-effective healing item money can buy right now. Sfooey on the Lucky Sandwich, it costs way too much money to be worth that. Medium pizzas are always sold out because of course they are. That's pretty funny. Large pizzas will restore 240 HP, being a guaranteed second tier Lucky Sandwich, but they cost over, I think they cost like $238 or something crazy like that. It's a lot. We're gonna order a small, because I at least have somewhat of a heart in what I do with my dead friends' debit cards. Some people might call it bad game design that you have to wait for a pizza to be delivered, but I find it very charming that it's exceptionally hard to get a hold of pizza unless you have it delivered. I think it's another great example of EarthBound feeling very lifelike and mirroring what the world feels like when you're a kid. Now, while we're waiting for this, for the delivery time of 3 minutes or less, fine, we can bring Ness back and then stick him with the bill so that he'll get an extra shock when he wakes up. But I also want to tell you about this man right here who obeys stop signs that are pointlessly placed in front of nothing. I always see you walking around. Walking is good for your health. Like you'd know anything about that, Mr. Hot Rod. I want to tell you about one of the finest pieces of EarthBound merchandise ever created. In the back of the EarthBound Player's Guide included with every copy of the game were some scratch and sniff cards. 6 of them to be precise. 5 of them had defined scents, but the 6th one was a mystery scent. The mystery scent was pizza. If you knew the answer to this, there was a postcard also in your player's guide where you would mail your answer into Nintendo to potentially get a prize. It was meant to be a teensy little contest of sorts. Unfortunately, the contest was a lot more teensy than they thought because almost nobody did this, and it seems that anybody who submitted an answer back in the day was able to get the prize. What was this prize, you might ask? Why, an official air freshener of this guy, the mock pizza delivery man. These things nowadays are relics. They are one of the rarest pieces of EarthBound merchandise. I've never owned one of these things. They go for crazy amounts, so crazy that I am not willing to tell you an exact dollar amount because it will probably be obsolete by next month, and if I try to highball it by future-proofing this video, then people are going to start listing it for that much money just because one guy on the internet says it's worth that much. It's sadly how a lot of collecting works. Hello, mock pizza delivery. Here's your pizza pie, sir. That'll be $48. You have the money, don't you? Thank you very much. Ness is very confused, not certain of what's going on at all. There we are. Paula gets to hang on to the pizza. The least she can do to show no hard feelings is carry it around for him. I wanted to share the story of that air freshener with you because it just furthers how almost every minor NPC in EarthBound has some interesting story associated with them, even if it's something that wasn't really intended by the game itself. Well, that is a lot of little miscellaneous topics, and we've gotten to go around Tucson just kind of seeing how things are now, since we have Paula back. Next time on EarthBound, there was one other group of people that wanted us to come visit them after we rescued Paula. We're gonna go see the Runaway 5. See you guys then. I thought I'd put a little PSA at the end of this video. If you happen to have one of those player's guides with the postcard to send away for the mock pizza air freshener and you're thinking about trying it right now, everything that I could find points to it not being a good idea and that your player's guide will be more valuable with the postcard still in it than not, and you're probably not going to get it back. However, just hearing about it isn't good enough for me. Like a fool, I am going to send away for it so you don't have to. I will let you know status updates on this when I have them, and it will kind of be its own little side journey that we can follow. I started today by calling Nintendo customer service, and their answer was they don't actually know what happens, but they think it's rather curious that there is no expiration date on the postcard. So we're trying it, and we're going to see what happens.